We're a dynamic duo of local entrepreneurs who don't just work hard, but know how to have a good time too. Along our journey, we've crossed paths with some incredibly cool individuals who've crafted some seriously impressive brand-worthy businesses.
You might recognize their business, but are you ready to get up close and personal with the real architects of their success? Today, we're throwing it into high gear as we sit down with one of these trailblazers. So no more suspense. Let's introduce our guest in the studio today.
So without further ado, Love Local Chicagoland is proud to present Brandworthy with your host, Mike and Aaron. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Love Local Chicagoland, the Brandworthy series. Here with my boy, Aaron. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Good to see you. How's your summer going?
It's going good so far. I'm enjoying myself. It's going pretty quick, though.
It always is. It always is. But, you know, we've had a slew of awesome guests in the last few months, and today is no different. So looking forward to the conversation.
Good people. I feel like we had a podcast before we were about to jump onto this podcast. We have a lot of similarities with this person that we're going to be talking to, with Matt Irvin from Cocial. It's a event space and a working space, a co-working space in Arlington Heights. But he's kind of a cool, fun guy, right? He's from California. We both have some West Coast roots.
Yeah, looking forward to the conversation, the background, the business, the kind of the roots that he's built from it. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. So
yeah, me too. I think, you know, him talking about why he's building this place and talking about building community and connections. Like, to me, this is just what the world needs right now. Is we're going through whatever the heck we're in right now in this time in history, to be connected, to collaborate with each other, to help each other win, and have that as a space. Like, it's really like, it's just an awesome vision, and I love that we get the opportunity to bring it out. So
let's stop talking.
I was going to say, I'm done talking to you. We should talk to him. What's up, Matt? Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show. We're super happy to get to know you and have you on the show and kind of get your message out there, man. You're doing some pretty cool things.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. This is fun. What a cool setup. And it's just kind of fun to, jump away from the daily grind of stuff and just kind of talk about having, good conversations with good people doing cool stuff. So
yeah, it's in. We've already discussed we're not working the rest of the day.
Right. Friday, summertime.
Yeah, we're going to go golfing and we're going to ride our bikes.
All the above.
And we're going to end at Church Street for some beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we'll start there too. We call Jason, let him have him open up early.
That's right.
Yeah.
The kids have a lot of fun. Why can't we have a summer break too?
Right. Totally. But yeah, excited to have this conversation, man. I met you probably within a month or two ago through Ragus and Dara. I feel like we instantly clicked, and maybe it is that little bit of West Coast vibe that I was talking about. I feel like I'm personally a Midwest soul, but I have a West Coast vibe about me, just from, half of my life was out there in the Las Vegas area, which is a little different from you in California. But before we dive into Cocial and just the great things you're doing there, let's tell our audience just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun to be here. Matt Irvin is my name, and I grew up in Midwest, grew up in Addison, and my wife grew up in Arlington Heights, and we lived in California, the Bay Area, for the last, 16 years. I always tell people we left as kids, and we came back with 3 of them. Pandemic hit, and we kind of packed up and drove to cross country like the Griswold family and rolled in town on Christmas Eve 2020. And so we've been back here now for, going on 4 years. So, Midwest at heart, but we definitely got that Cali West Coast vibe too. It's, things are a little different out there, and it was great. Kind of went out there and grew up a little bit, and loved the kind of energy out there. And it was always funny. It's like things always start on the coast and work their way to the Midwest. We talked about this a little bit before too. So it's kind of fun to kind of have those Midwest values that we missed being out in California, but yet kind of taking some of that inspiration and stuff like that from California and bringing it back to the Midwest. And it's fun to connect with people again, though. So it's we miss the Midwest vibes, and it feels good to be back.
Your family's here too, right?
Yeah, both my wife and I's parents are still here. Got some siblings here. My wife's got some siblings still out in California and stuff. So we still have some ties there, which is nice. Gives us an excuse to go back as often as we can and stuff like that. But yeah, we're Midwesterners at heart, and it feels good to be home.
Yeah, beautiful. Welcome home, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've been back how long?
It's 2020, so going on almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years this Christmas. So
almost 4 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been gone from the West Coast?
Actually, I moved back in 2014, end of 2014.
And it's 2014.
So, yeah.
It was 2006, so it's been a little bit, but it's still here. So
it's in us, right? Yeah. It's nice to I think you take the Midwest for granted until you leave it. and realized, man, I missed that connection and that community and the people, especially. So it's nice to kind of experience other things and then bring that different cultures back to the Midwest and then kind of come back home, stuff like that too.
I don't know if either of you like did this when you came back, or maybe it was just me, but I grew up here until I was 14 years old and moved to Las Vegas. But when I came back, I would be out in my front yard. I would say hi to everybody that drove past because like they'll actually wave to you here. Out west, it's not that warm and fuzzy. It's great people. Don't get me wrong. It's just not, you're not waving to each other all the time when you're driving down the street. Like I feel like you get here in the Midwest.
It's a little different mindset when you're behind the wheel of a car on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You got to get someplace and you're already an hour late before you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Survival.
Yeah. I think we met more people here in the first 3 months in Arlington Heights than we did in the last 3 years in our place in California. But I think it's just people are moving a lot faster. You've got, both parents work and it's just kind of head down sort of culture and go, which I think is something we missed about the Midwest where, just kind of pull back and kind of prioritize family, relationships, all that good stuff, and, kind of in that order first. And then, work's in there instead of work having to be the top priority.
Yeah. Super important.
Feels good to be home. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, we kind of talked a little bit before about the evolution of Cocial and how it started, and from a passion of what you kind of described. Tell us a little bit about what it is you love to do, and how Cocial kind of was created from that.
Yeah. Great question. Gosh, I love to do so much. We just not enough time in the day, but I love just connecting with people. I think it's great to we were chatting about it a little bit earlier. I think the world has gone sort of remote. The world has gone into their basements. The world has gone into their kitchen tables. And, I think obviously it makes sense because of a pandemic. We were all quarantined for a while. Within that, though, a lot of creativity was formed too. A lot of connections were formed in your bubbles. In California, we had this thing called, what do we call it? Cocktail corner, we called it. It was my wife and my 3 kids. We lived on a corner, and then across the street from us was this older couple from Australia that were our neighbors for a few years. And we would chat with them here and there in passing and stuff like that. Super friendly. Maybe we'd have a dinner with them or go over there for every so often. Pandemic hit, and what else are you going to do? So every Friday night we got together. We had to stay 6 feet apart. So we're on our driveway. They'd come across the street with their dinner. They'd sit at kind of the base of the driveway. We were up kind of by the garage. Just so the kids could run around the front yard and stuff like that. We had a little barricade or whatever. And then my 75-year-old neighbor next to me would come over and sit on his sort of property. It was like a little triangle of, five of us plus 3 kids. What we thought was going to be 5 or 6 Friday nights turned into like 48 Friday nights.
This is crazy.
And it's just priceless memories that we would never have done that if there was not a pandemic. And I think what I took away from that was like just the power of connection and the power of like taking time out of your day and we stuck to it, right? It was a lot easier to stick to it because you're in a pandemic. So nobody was really going anywhere or doing anything. Kids' sports were, sort of canceled. So we weren't flying all over the place. And I think one thing that my wife and I really loved about the pandemic was it allowed you to slow down a little bit. It allowed you to have those connections with people. And Cocktail Corner turned into one of the, our favorite memories of California. And we connected with folks and we just built long lasting relationships on a deep level that we never would have if we didn't have to. So I think that had helped inspire sort of Cocial and community and connected.
You took that experience and you saw something where like, oh wow, there's something here. This makes people feel good.
Yeah. And it's just
small
that human
community
interaction.
of people where you can be real with even during weird times.
And
it's important.
During a time where everybody went Zoom and everybody went, because you had to, right? So, and which thankfully there's those opportunities and the technologies there to have those interactions to build business and jobs and stuff like that and keep people employed. And I think people were burnt out with that, but you lost sort of that human interaction like this. Like, this is great. Like, we could do this on Zoom, but this is a lot more fun than just kind of go back and forth right here in front of each other.
It feels different.
Yeah.
I'm zoomed out. You still do it for efficiency, right? In business. But at the end of the day, like, there's nothing better than like connecting with people on the ground. Like, we're part of some associations together. We're with the giving group together. Like, it's a community of people that want to help like each other win. You become friends, right? Yeah. You become connected. So, I think the vision of, a Cocial, and there's other, we're at a place at Bellworks who has something called CoLab, which is kind of that type of working space as well, in Hoffman Estates. But you being in Arlington Heights, like the beautiful location, awesome location above Passero, to be able to bring people from the community, whether it's events and nonprofits, or whether it's people working there, that are at home that could come and all of a sudden they could gel with other people. Like, it just feels good, man. People, we need that as like a society and as humans, I feel.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then that's where Cocial was born, and the vision was born. And the vision, as I was sharing with you guys earlier, it's to me, it's a lot more than a brick and mortar workspace. It's a lot more than desks and chairs. It's a community. It is collaboration. It's, getting to know each other inside of a workspace. It's not just, let me just throw up together some offices and have your company come. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your families. I want to get to know what you're doing. And so many people are doing cool things. And it's fun to talk with people outside of their day jobs. We had a member who recently, he's in capital investment, stuff like that. And he's working on business plans for a new company, stuff like that. So when he's in his office, his head's down, right? But then when he comes out of his office, we chat, and he's a bourbon drinker. He loves to play the guitar. He actually got an office because it's, his guitars were too close at home, had a nice basement office, but he was able to get away and have an office to do some good work. And he would come out and he would just converse with the community that we're building at Cocial. That being said, too, he then one night on a Thursday, he invited some of his buddies over, and they just kind of used our big open sort of rotunda space, grabbed a bottle of bourbon, brought a bottle of bourbon or whatever, and they just had like kind of a riff back and forth with 4 guitars and singing and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like, that brings me joy, right? He's not just there working in an office. He's the space he felt was his home away from home.
That means something.
I love that you found a way where most people found reasons to not socialize, found reasons to go into their corners, found reasons to kind of hide themselves away. And you turn that into an opportunity and a business, the infancy of a business. That's such a powerful story. Like, it's so cool to hear how that kind of came to fruition. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. We're in this stage now in the business where I felt this for a while for us, and I feel like you're similar. I've been reading books on building community and learning about that and the power in that I'm experiencing. And I think it's super, super important. But when I talk to our team here at Love Local, like, we're not building a business. We're building a community. And you're doing that same thing. Yeah. Like for people from all different walks of life, all people around the community, do all different things, but you're bringing them together. And that synergy that happens when you bring people together is pretty special in my experience. And it's something that I'm excited for you as you continue to evolve. Seeing your space, I think is really, really awesome. Can you tell, like, if somebody's looking, like, we're talking about event space, we're talking about, somebody coming in to rent a desk, like what problems do you solve and what packages do you have for people that are looking to get out of their house or get out into the community?
Yeah, we've got a lot of different options for folks. And I think it's hard today to kind of cater to everybody because the world's changed. Nobody works 9 to 5 anymore. The pandemic has helped everybody kind of become humans again, in the fact that if you got to dip out in the middle of the day and take your kid to the doctor's office, you can, but then you might log back on at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And companies more and more these days are okay with that. So, so that being said, I try to design a space that would cater to all the different work needs that people have. So we've got 25 private offices, anywhere from 1 person to 4 or 5 people. We've got flex memberships, which is your coffee shop nomad sort of remote worker that just like, I got to get out of my house for a few hours. And I want fast Wi-Fi, good coffee, and natural light, and a place to converse with other human beings. Can a lot of people work from home? Yes. Did the pandemic kind of force this shift that needed to happen where it's okay and not frowned upon to work from home? I think, yeah. Before, if I'm working from home, a lot of companies were like, oh, you're just out running around and you're at the gym or you're at this and that. You're not really working. But I think the forced experiment of the pandemic proved that, well, people can still work. As a matter of fact, they work a lot better.
Yeah.
And so that being said, we try to
happier.
and they're happier.
They're appreciated.
And they're
Yes.
appreciated and they're happier, and they can be parents. They can be friends. They can kind of balance their life more.
Mhm.
And because of that, they're getting their work done, but maybe not from a 9 to 5 hours. So we give 24/7 access even to our flex members. So if they want to come in from 10 to midnight, have at it. Each get their own door code access and stuff like that, and they get in. So we have a lot of different packages. We have event space. We have conference rooms. So conference rooms you can rent by the hour, which is great because, as we said, most teams are remote.
Mhm.
So if you're remote, then rent a conference room for the day. Have your team from all over come meet in the conference room. Hash it out on a whiteboard TV, and then go to lunch in downtown Arlington Heights to all the many restaurants, or stay and go to dinner and some bars afterwards and have a great nightlife too. So it's a great team building thing
Or
right downtown.
Jump on the train and take your team into downtown Chicago for the night too. I mean, you really are in this like prime location. I remember walking into the place for the first time, and Ragu connects me to different people. So it's usually kind of like a normal flow. I walk down, I'm like, oh, what is this space? And it's a great location. It's right above Passero in down. It's our Evergreen, right? Is that
on Evergreen? Yeah,
Evergreen?
21 South Evergreen.
The train's right there, and then you got Campbell, like right there. That if you know Arlington Heights, it's the place to be.
That's the street Metropolis is on.
Move over, and you got other great restaurants too. Like was it Tuscan Market? We go to a lot. It has like live music outside, just a cool vibe, and you could work and you could execute your day, then you could go out and you could connect, or you could have business relationships and connections over dinner and a drink in one of the coolest spots in the northwest suburbs. You can't go wrong. We actually did a video that kind of gave a tour of the place. Is it cool now to bring it into our audience and show it to them?
Yeah, we'll love it.
All right, enjoy, guys. Yeah.
What's up, Love Local Chicagoland? Welcome to Cocial. Come on in, let's show you around. Cocial, we're a co-working conference event space. Right here's our open flex seating area. This picture your coffee shop, fast Wi-Fi, good coffee, quieter, lots of places to plug in. We come right into the cafe sort of seating area. We got full kitchen here. Like I said, we got tons of coffees, teas, all that good stuff to get your best work done. Touchscreen coffee. If you're a coffee connoisseur, espressos, lattes, add a chocolate shot, whatever you need to keep the day going. We got a couple conference rooms up front here that we rent by the hour as well. All come with TVs to stream to, whiteboard so that you and your team can collaborate. All your remote teams need a place to come and meet. We got options for you. And then we start getting into some of our private offices, wings and stuff like that. We've got a lot of different companies already signing up. We've got private offices that come with stand-sit desks, ergonomic chairs, filing cabinets. We got a couple of them on the window line. We also have some sort of therapy rooms and offices if you don't need TVs, whiteboards, all that good stuff. We've got some therapy rooms set up for therapists and coaches. Throughout the space, kind of similar to the cafe seating you'll see up front, we have our Flex membership that allows you to sit anywhere that's not dedicated. No private offices or conference rooms, but sometimes you just need a space to get out of your house and come work. So we've got a lot of different nooks and crannies in the space that provides that. We've got furniture like this, acoustical furniture, so you can jump on a quick call and not disturb everybody. We've got some flex seating in here. If you come in a little bit deeper, it's a little bit more private for you. This is another one of our conference rooms that we rent by the hour. Everybody seems to love this one because we got a lot of natural light in here. What's fun is you're right on the train track, so it's pretty cool to see the train come by. And then, so we have this, a lot of rented and stuff like that for a lot of teams, remote teams that want to come. They jump off the train's right over there, come on in here, get some work done. And now we're going to go into our event space and flex space. So this is our flex space by day. We've got a lot of people that are will sit and work in the flex space. They're flex members and they want to come sit by the window lines because you can't beat this view. Downtown Arlington Heights right here. And then nights and weekends we do events, personal events, corporate events, where we have rows of chairs, drop down screen, speakers and trainings for corporate. And then we also have birthday parties, baby showers and all that stuff.
on the weekends, kind of if you can think of an event, we can help you plan it and organize it and have a memorable one. We are BYOB, BYOF, I say, bring your own food, so that you can kind of design your own event, whether it's a corporate or personal event. We just rent the space and you bring it in and we'll bring your vision to life. Come on, I'll show you a little bit more. We got a podcast studio, which is fun because nowadays everybody wants to do content and get online. So we got a little podcast studio for you that, the goal of the podcast studio is just members use it, grab your laptop, plug in, you got the microphone set up, get to work. Outside of your closet, your basement, all that stuff. We want to provide a space for people to kind of bring their own content, build their own content, and help their business grow. We rent offices by the day. So if you don't need a permanent office and you just want an office, you work from home, but you're like, I got kids home for the summer, I've got 8 back-to-back Zoom calls, you can rent an office for the day and not commit to a whole month, which is great. So this is some of our flex dedicated seating as well. So like I said, as you kind of continue into the space, it gets a little bit more private. We have exposed ceilings and stuff like that, which we love because all the HVAC is great because you hear the noise constantly, which is great for a co-working space because it provides some white noise that just sort of drowns the sound out. We're not the library, so people will always be talking and mingling and doing business. And I think people love that buzz, and that's what's been getting people out of their houses lately, is to get back into sort of a community and get around other entrepreneurs and people that are working for great companies that you feel alive when you're coming around other people doing some good work. So it's been fun to watch the business grow so far. So I try to design the space where it feels open, yet there's a lot of nice little pockets of privacy and stuff like that too. So we have the kind of the private office wing over there and over back here, and then we have some open spots in here where people can mingle, come out of their offices, meet with other members and stuff like that. And especially when you get to the back over the window line there and get some natural light, it just really helps brighten up your day. So now we're back to the front. It's been fun watching this business grow over the last 6 months. We've built some great relationships. We've got a lot of new companies starting, and the community is really growing. So if you need office space, if you need a place to come, just put your head down and get to work for a few hours. If you need some event space, or if your team's remote and you need to all meet in a conference room for the day and then enjoy some of the great restaurants in downtown Arlington Heights, come find us. We're at www.getcocial.com. We're on Instagram at getcocial, and we're all over the place, so you can find us, and we look forward to meeting you.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I told you it wasn't a it's awesome space too, right? Like, did you see the windows like overlooking the train station? Like, you could pretty much head to Milwaukee, or not Milwaukee, you head to Wisconsin one direction or the city in another, and then you got Arlington Heights right there. So it's a pretty cool spot for sure. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome spot. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, kind of that window line, as I was going to get to that event space we have, kind of what differentiates ourselves from others is like, I want to create an event space where it's a blank canvas for folks, right? Where, because it's hard to find event space. It's hard to find if you're having a birthday party, a baby shower. We've actually had a lot of celebrations of life recently, which has been great, right? Because it kind of, the natural light and, it kind of celebrates loved ones that have passed, right? And we've had a few of those recently, which have been really great. And like I said, it's a blank canvas where we're BYOB, BYOF, BYO food, as I like to say. And it allows people to kind of control their budget, control their party, bring in what they want versus, trying to find a space where you might have a minimum on a bar tab, a minimum on for a specific menu and stuff like that. So a lot of people have really appreciated that, where they can kind of bring in their own visions, their own decorations, and make it their own.
Yeah. It's super important. I was surprised on like the wide variety of different events you have there. Like, you're really, truly, it's not just working people that are like entrepreneurs. Like, you're bringing in moms, you're bringing in dads in the community through, whether it's nonprofits or other cool events like you're talking about, which is,
and that's unique the goal.
To me. Yeah.
And that was the whole goal. Like I said, I didn't want to just put together a workspace and have it be some incubator or something like that. I wanted to build a community workspace, event space that brings the likes of your mom's clubs, your dad's clubs, but then also a nice, sleek, welcoming environment that you would bring professionals to, where we've had a lot of corporate events where we'll have trainers. We've got a drop down screen, projector, rows of chairs, microphones. We've got a lot of talks and trainings and stuff like that. A lot of corporate events during the day and evenings in the weeknight and during the week. And then we've got a lot of personal events and stuff on the weekends, which has been great. We work with some nonprofits, and then as Cocial, as the brand, we're going to start having our own branded events, bringing the community in and getting Cocial out in the community and stuff like that, and just kind of connecting folks. And that's why we want to be downtown Arlington Heights. We had a space in California for a few years right before we moved, just kind of proof of concept. It's kind of more in an industrial area on Facebook's sort of campus, not surrounded by restaurants and stuff like that, unless you had a Facebook ID. But you had to drive certain places, and I just didn't want to redo that. I wanted to be in a community. I wanted to be downtown where you could, like we talked about, jump on the train. You can go to restaurants during lunch. You can go to restaurants with clients and bars in the evenings. And I think the location is just speaks for itself, and we're just super excited we've been there 6 months, and we're just kind of excited to see where this journey continues to go.
So you kind of talked about it beforehand, but the vision, the next steps, the future for Cocial. What you kind of talked about some niche businesses. Is there anything you want to share about like kind of how you see this growing?
Yeah, would love to. So I think, we were chatting a little bit about sort of podcasting and stuff like that. Like one of my goals is, and we can say this at the end, but like you can find us, we're going to start a podcast called Get Cocial. That's our website, www.getcocial, which means come and get Cocial, come connect socially, and just kind of have these kind of conversations with folks that are doing cool stuff in the community, whether it's a soccer club or it's the Chamber of Commerce or the mayor, right? It's just if you land in Arlington Heights, I want people to come look at Cocial and see where to go. And I think as we go
with that podcast, you're connecting people too.
And you're connecting, right?
There's
You're
a value add there for
sure.
people to be able to get their messages and stories out
Right.
there. And you bring them to people to connect. It's like,
yeah,
those are some key attributes to living a good
Right.
life.
Yeah. And if you, the general, you's not growing, then Cocial's not growing, right? So if I can't shed light on your business and what you guys are doing, then I'm not doing what I dream of and want to do. If you succeed, then I succeed. We succeed as a community, as a society. We've got some therapy rooms in our space too. My wife's a therapist, marriage and family therapist. Specializes in
it's
families.
a unique differentiator too.
Yeah.
Like you cater just to therapists. Like I
Right.
saw the rooms that you had for
Mhm.
them. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
We want to give, we want to give a lot of different industries opportunities to work, right? So, not every therapist that's starting out, for example, if you start a private practice and you don't have any clients, you're not really going to pay or want to pay for traditional lease and utilities and internet and coffee and couches and chairs and tables and all that stuff, right? So we designed that for you. So you can just start your private practice, you get a client, pay by the hour, see a client. You see one client, pay by the hour, see 5 clients. As you grow, we can grow with you and your price will be reduced. And then, hopefully you start with Cocial and then you end up getting your own space someday, but you grew with us and we gave you a product which allowed you to grow. And that's a win for us. And that's a win for the therapist. And it's fun we want to have it inside of a co-working space because, when you drop off somebody at therapy, for example, you sit in the parking lot or you kind of sit in a waiting room. They're all quiet, small, stuff like that. By design, because therapists want to do therapy. So if you're dropping off your kid at therapy, then you can sit in our workspace, jump on our Wi-Fi, have a cup of coffee, tea, grab a beer out of the fridge if you want to, depending what time of day it is or whatever. And
Don't judge, man.
no judgment here. All good here. I mean, we've got some Church Street. We've got some Church Street at our space too. So,
Right.
but then you can get some work done. So that the parents are winning, the kids are winning. You're in a shared workspace, and by doing that, then we're sort of shedding light on mental health too. Like it's okay. Like go to the gym, take care of your body. Go see a therapist, take care of your mind, right? And I think the more that the world is going that direction, we're just providing a space for it.
To me, it's super important. I'm pro therapy very much. So, and I think as entrepreneurs or as business builders, sometimes we need it, and it's not a sign of weakness. Which I think in the past, and this is my opinion, but in the past, maybe that's been you're weak, you're not as strong of a leader, you're not this or that. So, to me, to have like inside of that space, like if you connect with a therapist, you can meet them right there. You could be working 8 hours of your day and then, go get an hour session to work through what you have to work through for whatever that is. Because most likely if you're a working adult, you're balancing like,
Million
your work, your the relationship with your spouse, your kids, maybe your family, your parents, if you're taking care of them, like the world goes on and on. So to have that in-house just helps, I think, in my opinion, helps people go faster if they can work out their stuff.
For sure.
So speaking of taking a little break and beer,
we're doing therapy right now.
I think it's time for questions from the congregation.
Questions from the congregation.
So we've shared.
I thought we were saying we're doing a therapy session.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, before we touch on
this
that,
will be nice. We'll share.
A real quick point, kind of before we touch on that, because that seems exciting. I'm a little nervous about pulling out of the hat here.
You should be. Yeah.
Did you guys see the ESPYs? I think it was last night. Did you watch the ESPYs? The speech by Steve Gleason. It kind of just touches on what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's got ALS. And his speech was amazing. If you didn't check it out, great 3-4 minutes. But he talks about we're all suffering, right? So to go back to the therapy, to go back to the brand of Cocial, it's the world's suffering. We're all juggling a million things, right? We're all suffering in some way. It's just human nature. So what I wanted to do,
part of being human.
It's part of being
struggle
human,
and
right?
you suffer. Yes.
And I think for so long that we bottle it up, and we all went into our own basements and kitchens and quarantine and stuff like that. And with Cocial, I wanted to bring people out and just have those conversations, connect, collaborate, be vulnerable, and let's chat and have a place where you can do work. You can sit around, have a cup of coffee, and chat about life and kids and sports and chaos and stuff. And just kind of building that community where people feel comfortable enough to speak out.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see you continue to evolve that, because I think that's the secret to life. Small communities of people that you can do life in, and you have it in that area. So we're not doing therapy. We're doing questions from the congregation.
Might need therapy after some of these answers.
Some of these questions,
they get deep.
They get deep. So I think we'll have you go ahead, pull out this fancy jar from our friends at Church Street.
All right, just pick one in there.
Yeah, go deep, man. Go deep. You never know what you're going to get in here.
Just read it out, huh?
Just read it out loud, and
do we get to put it back and get a new one if we want to?
if you're like,
if you don't like it,
ahead.
just make something up.
No,
we won't even know. Yeah,
it's fun. I just don't know what the answer would be. There's just so many things. But if you had a magic pen that could draw anything into existence, what would you create first? Gosh, that's a hard one. I mean,
anything.
I mean, I feel like, this space is being created, connections like this. You can't, if you can draw that, that'd be great. So, the faux pas answer is like, oh, just create $1 million. But what does money do if you're not connecting with people, right?
Money doesn't matter. Money comes from all the other stuff.
Absolutely,
in my opinion,
right? Yeah. I would probably draw, a community of people. But I think that's something we're talking about building here. I've got an amazing wife, 3 great kids, a business that I started that's growing, making cool connections like this. So. Let's get another one. What do you say?
Let's do another one. Let's see what else. Yeah, do it. I like this. Keep going. We could do this all day, especially if we don't have to answer.
Right.
So, but we will answer. But go ahead if you want to do another one.
What's the oddest talent or skill you possess that not many people know about? Gosh, I can juggle. I can actually juggle a little bit.
Yeah.
I learned how to juggle in junior high gym class, and I've just stuck with it. 3 things only, though. Right. Nothing on fire. But
say that question one more time.
What's the oddest talent or skill you possess that not many people know about?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know what you
that
got?
Not many people know about. Well, my golf tricks are out. So
we not as many people know about them as you think, Aaron.
I want to hear about the golf tricks now.
I guess I would draw, if I had that magic pen, I would draw the ball to go in the hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I'm going to take that first question too with the pen. And I think to go off of yours is to take the philosophies and operating systems that have helped people do life better in history and to take them and to write them out in some type of beautiful setting like you're talking about. Like, let's use the right principles. Let's create small communities and let's help each other do life better, because we're all suffering in some way. We're all struggling through something in some way. So if we could support one another as we do that, let's do it. So
absolutely.
You keep this is you are you?
Yeah, I think
you're
this
having
is
an
fun.
addict. You're just
I know.
you only had to do one, but
I'll get the last one in here. This one seems fun. Probably the just kind of things we're talking about. If you could spend a day in the body of an animal, which one would you choose and what would you do? I mean, I think we were chatting about California, West Coast, Las Vegas, stuff like that. I think, I would be an eagle or a bird or something. I think just kind of living away from the Midwest to see other beauty out there, and then coming back and seeing, we go up to Minnesota a few times a summer, drop kids off at camp, just seeing the beauty of the lakes up there. I would want to be an eagle or a bird and just soar. And I think there's so much of this world I still want to see.
Yeah, dude, that's like hard to beat. I would have to say a bird too. I don't know. Not as cool as you. I won't say eagle, but
California condor.
Oh, there you go.
That should be your nickname. California condor.
There you go.
AKA Aaron Bondi. But yeah, that's a good way to go. So you're the first person that like wanted to pick out more. This is great.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
I think our friends at Church Street are pretty appreciative of them. Yeah. So, and you have Church Street beer at Cocial. You said Amanda works.
Yeah. So
out of there as well.
So we've got some. Yeah. Chase has been by, and Amanda works out of the space with her company, which is great. She's one of our Flex members, and she's great. It's fun to get to know them. And Don Bergstrom over there at Church Street's a good friend of mine in the neighborhood, and he helped kind of get me some beers and stuff over there. And we've got a little sort of tap system and stuff that's just members get to kind of access and stuff instead of having a bunch of.
We love our Church Street. Do you know what type of beer you have there?
We've got real beer over there, which was formed by two guys in the neighborhood. That was a Church Street beer that they brought back, which is great. And gosh, I forget one of the other ones we have. Chase actually connected me with one of them. Yeah. Jace.
That's right. I messed up your name so you could mess up his name. So.
Jace is great.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Gosh, I forget the ones he sent over there now, but it's really good. I think maybe it's a sour. Now I'm blanking on it, but it's good.
Yeah.
So we've got a few of them sitting in there waiting for, and it's just access for members because it's no judgment, as we said, but sometimes you just want to grab a beer at the end of the day, and it's just kind of a perk for the members and stuff like that. So it's great.
Amen, man.
Yeah.
So.
And we want to support local companies like Church Street.
It's great. They're a great business too. I feel like, we've had opportunities for other sponsorships. It was important for us the sponsors that we have to just kind of fit our values and morals. And they're real people that like to create beer, and they treat people well as well. And that was really important for us, whether it's, Jace, whether it's Amanda, Lisa, the founder, is a pretty awesome human. She's been on the show before when Mike was in this seat here on Brandworthy with you. But yeah, we're
Aaron
big
works
fans.
out of our space too with Amanda, so she's great too. She works at Church Street, so they're great. Yeah. And they got a great setup over there too in Itasca, which is fun experience to get out there.
Never went in there and not had fun. I can honestly say that. So.
They always got something going on, which is cool.
Just the vibe, and I feel like they hire well too. As business operators, that's hard sometimes to make people feel good. And so I feel like the way that they hire, they bring on some good people that make people feel good as you drink beer. And that's
quality
important.
Product. Food's good, beer's good. It's a good experience all the way around.
And that's it.
We really aren't working the rest of the day, are we?
Yeah, right. And that's it. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head right there, Aaron, and the fact that and what we try to do at Cocial, and what Church Street's doing. And I think it's all about what we talked about, community connecting, but it's all about experience, right? Yeah. At Cocial, we're not just a workspace. We're creating an experience, whether it's you're a Flex member, whether a private office member, whether you're a virtual mail member, whether you're come in for an event. We want you to have an experience like none other as soon as you walk in the door.
That's that type of mindset. And your location, to me, is in what you're creating within those things is really what makes you guys unique. There's other, co-working type places out there, right? Not everyone's going to make it because it's not about the building. It's about the people. And that's for you got both. Yeah. I think that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see where you go. What message, and you might have shared some of it already, but what other message is important for you to share with our community here with Love Local Chicagoland that you want them to know?
Man, so much. How much time we have? No,
man. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of stuff we talked about. It's humanizing each other, building relationships with each other, coming out of our shells, which is internally, and our physical shells of our homes and our offices and everything else, and connect with each other, right? Cocial was formed on connect socially, collaboration, co-working, conference room, stuff like that. Come get Cocial at our space if you need a space, if you need somebody to talk to, right? I think, or whatever walks of life you're in, right? Find community, find people. And I think we all just live better lives if we're all supporting one another and what everybody's doing. And I think you guys are doing cool stuff here. This is amazing setup. I'm happy to, we've met a few months ago, we met today, and it's just like we've known each other for a few years now. So I think if people just start those conversations, you never know where they're going to end up. And I just think that's the message that Cocial wants to have from a space, but from just a brand as well.
I think it's so important for us to talk to people and connect with people, especially in today's world where this is trying to make us one or the other type thing, and how the algorithms work. Where like if we just talk to people, we could have similar views, we could have different views, but I bet at the end of the day, we're still going to be sitting there cracking open the Church Street beer at the end of the workday, being able to talk and connect,
or in the middle of it,
or in the middle of it.
I like the way you work.
Let's go. We're on the same page.
You wrote in our prep, you wrote, at Cocial, I wanted to create an environment of joy, togetherness, support, and inspiration. And just hearing your story here today, and you this coming out, like I'm excited to see you execute on that. And I think you're on the good start with that. I know you're having a lot of events there. I know we have a village event there coming up on July 26th from 3 to 5 that we're looking forward to bringing our community with the village there with Steve Long and Ragu and Dara myself as the founders of that. We're excited to help bring hopefully some new faces there to get what you're doing and get to know you, because it's I'm going to look at these other like Cocial type places around the community, and I haven't met one yet where like the owner is running it and as doing it at a high level where they're just focused in on the people. And I think that to me is the future of work. That's the future of how we're going to make a better tomorrow for our kids here in our local communities. But it starts for having a space like what you're doing at Cocial.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, my kids mop floors. They help me put together every desk and chair.
I can't wait
my
to
wife,
put my kid to work.
Right? Kids, I mean, but it's and they're seeing dad and mom doing stuff that's uncomfortable, right? And they're there and they could be out with their friends, but they're coming and they're helping and they're mopping floors and they're wiping down counters and they're putting together furniture and stuff like that, going through mail. I think so. It's a family run business, and it's like you bootstrap it and you put it all together, and and you run with it, and you trust in people, and like those things said at the end of the write up that I put together, like Cocial is like, let's build community and lift each other up.
Yeah, I think that's why we're friends, my friend. Yeah. Where can people find you? If they want to check out Cocial, whether it's an event or if they're looking for some space to do work at, where can they learn more about Cocial?
Yeah, our website's www.getcocial.com. We're on Instagram at GetCocial. We're going to be starting a podcast called Get Cocial, connecting people and stuff like that. And then we're around the community. So we're right above Passero, 21 South Evergreen, downtown Arlington Heights. Just, shoot a text over, direct message, stop by, cup of coffee. If you just want to come by, and, any of your audience that wants to just come by and have a free day of work just to test out the space, welcome to. Just mention, Love Local Chicago, and I'm happy to just have them come check it out and grab a cup of coffee and get to work.
Cool. Something me and Aaron, you just found out we don't work. We're going to be drinking your beer.
Sometimes that's work too. If we're connecting, then we're working,
right.
So love it.
Yeah, that's it.
A lot of different ways to work.
That's it, right? It all blends together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
One day at a time, and
that's
we're all in this together. Well, anything else for our guy here?
No, Matt, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Great chance to talk and get to meet you and learn more about Cocial. This was a great conversation.
Yeah, I agree, man. I can't wait to see where you go. My brain usually thinks in the future, but you're setting in what you're doing. You're setting up on such a solid foundation around things that help us thrive as humans, and things that we know that we need more now than ever as humans. So keep going, man. Yeah. My friends that are out there, if you're looking for a space to work, you're looking for a place to have an event, you're gonna find a hard time finding a cooler spot than Cocial in downtown Arlington Heights off of Evergreen. So thanks for watching. Support, follow us. We are only as strong as the community, and you're out there on the other side of that camera. So we appreciate you, my friends. Peace out.